Hi guys, welcome to Snake Nook. I'm Vanny and with me I have Little Thorn. He's my Emery's rat snake or Great Plains rat snake. He's a subadult, about 2.5 years old. He's the only colubrid here at Snake Nook and he's going to be helping me out for one of the segments. So in today's video, we're going to be helping out newer keepers to understand and make sense of some of their pet snakes' behaviors. Stay tuned. So one of the behaviors that as new snake keepers sometimes we want to make sense of is, why is our snake hiding for a prolonged period of time? So maybe you get a pet snake and it hasn't shed for you yet, or it's only shed once or twice, and maybe the next shed it takes a little extra long, so it's hiding. It doesn't really come out of its hidey. It is spending more time out of sight than usual, even at night. So if you're wondering why your snake is hiding for a prolonged period of time, it could be because they are in shed, as is the case with Little Thorn. Thorn is currently in shed and he has been hiding away for about a whole week, or almost a week rather. And he's deep in shed. His eyes are opaque and his color is very dull, even though he's normally gray, and has these beautiful brownish patterns. He actually looks quite dull for his regular colors. So that's one of the reasons why you might see your snake hiding for a prolonged period of time, is because your snake is possibly deep in shed. So another thing that we can make sense of as new keepers is why our snake may be enclosure defensive or cage defensive. I don't really have a snake that is currently enclosure defensive, not really, but I am going to go ahead and show you Sandstorm. So I'm going to get her out, and let's say that Sandstorm didn't want to come out and she is maybe even hissing or withdrawing or looking rather defensive in a way that looks menacing to us. That could indicate that your snake is certainly stressed out, and also it could mean that, come on sweetie, that your snake feels cornered. So this is Sandstorm. See, it looks like she's a little defensive, but boas kind of have that S shape going on most of the time anyway. So if she looks like she's defensive, or you think that your snake looks like it's trying to fight for its life when you reach into the enclosure, it could be because your snake feels like it's got nowhere to go. So that was to show you, this is Sandstorm, and I now have her with me, but I was getting her out of her enclosure. Sometimes I think new keepers may wonder why their snake is cage defensive. They think it's primarily territorial. While that may be the case with some snake species, they may be territorial over their space. In other cases, I think that it is because your snake realizes that it is in a confined space and has nowhere to go, and your snake knows this. And perhaps they are not in the mood to hang out with you. They are not in the mood in a mood to have an outing, and the only way that they are letting you know that, hey, and this is not a good time, I don't want to go out, is maybe they have to get defensive. Maybe there's some hissing, could be some striking, they're just tensing up, or they are outright trying to find a place to hide in their enclosure to get away from you, any of that. And then if you are seeing some of these defensive moves, it could be pretty much what I think, as what I have observed in the past with snakes. It could be just that they know they have nowhere to go and they are just looking for a way to get away, or for a way to tell you, please leave me alone, go away. But we don't speak the same language. So it's up to us to realize what is going on with their behavior so that we know how to proceed accordingly. I now have little Winter with me, and she's gonna help me out with this other portion. Sandstorm's trying to weave in and out of my hair. So Winter is a royal python, and sometimes for new keepers, you know, you want to make sense of why your snake maybe is not as active as you would want your snake to be. Maybe your snake just does not appear as outgoing, as interactive, and you're wondering, well, what's wrong with my snake? Well, personality has a lot to do with it. So even within species, there is a lot of personality. You know, there are differences in the way snakes behave individually. And then if you have a species like the royal python, they are notoriously known for being like pet rocks or not being as interactive as others, even though there are so many videos out there that show you the contrary. But if you understand where your pet snake comes from, anyway, guys, where was I? I was, my daughter's getting Sandstorm. Going back to the royal python. So knowing where your royal python is in its food chain will help you to understand why it acts a certain way. So it could be that, what is she doing? It could be that your royal python just instinctively knows that it is not only a predator, but it's also prey. So whenever you have a pet snake that is kind of like halfway in that food chain, they are predators, but they're also prey for other animals. That may explain why their behavior can be somewhat secretive, somewhat shy, why they don't just automatically seem like they are so interactive and they're full of energy and doing a bunch of things. It may be in their nature to hide, because not only are they predators, they're also prey, and they naturally and instinctively know this. So for example, royal pythons in their natural habitats are actually prey for big cats and even raptor birds. So unfortunately, the royal does have to be secretive by nature. It does have to be shy by nature, and it has to be extra cautious because the royal is not an apex predator in its natural environment. So anyway, hopefully that helps new keepers, guys. Just going over 3 of your snake's behaviors that you may be wondering, okay, how am I going to make sense of this? How can I better understand what they're up to? So hopefully it helped that we talked about snakes being in shed as a reason why they hide for prolonged periods of time. Also, if your snake appears somewhat defensive as you're taking them out of their enclosure, it could be that they're just not ready to hang out with you at that moment, or they just feel cornered. They know that they are in a confined space. And one more thing about a species such as the royal python, why is your snake a little more withdrawn, maybe not as interactive as other snakes? Why does your snake kind of want to be a little more on the shy side? That could be because they know that they are not just predators, but may also be prey in their respective food chains. So hopefully all of that helped you guys out, especially all the new keepers maybe that have some questions about their snake's behavior. Thank you so much for watching the video, guys. Thank you so much for staying with us, and Winter's gonna help, and Sandstorm is gonna help me they're gonna help me wrap up the video. Thank you so much for watching. If you're not already subscribed, please subscribe to Snake Nook and help our channel grow. Give this video a like so more people can enjoy the snake content. And thank you so much for being here. We hope to see you here again next time. Y'all have a good one. Bye.